I wonder what they're discussing in the lobby at this point. I mean, if it's tips about game one, I do genuinely hope that one of the players actually ends up posting those things in the chat so we can all take a look at that. Seems to be a long conversation. Okay, and as I see that, I believe they've gone live. Hey, thanks, D. Okay, did they have some issue with the game? Because I don't actually see it in the spectate games tab. Or maybe it's just D being D again. And after the game showing up for a split second, I am unable to find it now. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Japanese versus Franks. Nice. This is a pretty interesting Civ matchup actually. I have been pretty interested in seeing how this Civ matchup can go because Japanese is one of the best infantry Civs in the game, and on the other side we have Franks, which is possibly one of the best classic Arabia Civs. I mean, these days with the new meta and everything, people actually prefer to go for archers rather than scouts because it was so easy to wall up on Arabia. But with the new map generation, scouts have become quite powerful again. So yeah, should be a nice game to watch. I mean, I expect the Japanese player to basically start with archers or maybe some sort of a drush or man at arms play into archers or maybe a fast castle. And after that, it should be interesting to see. Like, Japanese still do get the full archer upgrades, arbalests and bracer and everything. So they are a pretty good archer civ, but I mean, once it gets to post imp, should be interesting to see what Assk's composition will be here. If it gets to post imp, sorry. And on the other side, we have AVR playing as the Franks. So, I mean, with Franks, you always expect a standard 20 pop scouts build or a 21 pop scouts build or whatever. So, I believe that is what he'll end up going for. And Franks, with their foraging bonus on the berries and their free upgrades on the mill, they are actually a pretty nice stuff to play with. Village account similar, or rather the same at this point. And Assk has found his sheep, all of his sheep, I believe. So he's not getting lamed in this game. What I have actually noticed here is this is pretty unfortunate that boar spawn over there. Okay, so he has found it. It's just that the boar is on the other side of the wood line, so it's actually slightly dicey when pulling in the boar because the villagers are going to have to run all the way back from here, here, and here. So maybe AVR can just bring in a scout to sort of try and block the boar from attacking his villager. Because yeah, I mean that boar is pretty far from the TC. Okay. So AVR is, I mean, he has found his sheep although it is Assk who found them earlier and sent them to AVR's base. So Assk being a gentleman over here and sending those sheep to his opponent. Now, I would hope if I would just hope that he decides to lame this, considering that's what AVR did in the first game. Would be nice to see some revenge. Okay, so he decides to not do any of that. And right, I forgot to change the over there. So yeah, there we go. So AVR Scout unfortunately has missed Ask's base completely. Okay, so he has found these two houses, but this was just a random right click that he did. So hopefully he does notice those two houses and heads back in that direction. And meanwhile we see Assk is going for the Drush at this point. So this should be a Drush FC. And I mean, he has a sheep, so getting to getting to feudal age should not be difficult, even though he has queued these two militia, I believe, at this point. Yeah, there we go. So there's the third militia coming in. And AVR has completely missed Ask's base over here, and his scout is in the completely wrong location now. And meanwhile, Assk has found his berries, and I think he can just see the edge of this farm, so he should know that's where his TC is. What about the golds? Okay, so he has found his main gold, his secondary stone, his secondary gold over here. He has found his lumber camp as well, so that's some pretty nice scouting from him. And we see the three militia about to hit AVR. So AVR is basically going for the standard 20 pop scouts build. The only issue is that he'll end up losing a couple of villagers here, and not only that, he's got his berry villagers off the berries right now, which means that he won't be getting a lot of food income at this point. And yeah, I mean, he does not even have his barracks up at this point. So even though he will get to feudal age quite soon, the issue is that he does not have the barracks up, so there's no chance of him queuing up any scouts as soon as he gets to feudal age and ends up building his stables. And meanwhile AVR loses his scout to Ask's three villagers. Okay, so Assk is actually being nice. He's letting these lumberjacks collect some more wood. But I mean, yeah, this is pretty bad already. He does not have the barracks, so he's not going to get the stables up. These militia have done a lot of damage here, and even though they go down and the KD doesn't look that bad, he's just about to build his barracks, which means that okay, so he's adding 3 villagers, which is at least smart enough. He'll get the barracks up as soon as possible. However, what he actually decides to do after that is get the double bit axe, which means he won't have the food to queue up a lot of scouts. So the stable goes up, and this scout might actually be a slight bit of a nuisance. Okay, he decides to ignore these villagers just passing. Come on, quick wall these villagers in, man. Okay, so Assk is actually letting AVR build the stables over here. But I mean, that's one scout that he can add. He'll have to cancel the villagers that he has queued up. I mean, Franks get the farming bonus, so I noticed that he had one farm up already. I'm not sure if he added a few more farms after that. Yeah, so I think all of these other farms seem to be post-feudal farms. So, I mean, at least that's nice. The only issue here is that he has been housed again, and he does not have the food to queue up more scouts, apart from these two. and he's already lost his initial scout, so that's basically the entirety of his army. Meanwhile, Assk, I believe, is walling up, and okay, these are some interesting walls. Oh, okay. I mean, this is coming from a 1000 elo player. Assk, this I don't think you should have walled this up like this, because you're walling out your own secondary gold and your main stone, and you're spending a shitload of wood walling up. Let's see what his scouting looks like. Okay, so no, this is just a bit of shoddiness from him. Like, he has seen that his edge of the map is extremely close, so rather than spending all this wood over here, he could have just walled up to the edge of the map. Nice. Even I get to, even I get a chance to criticize a 1900 elo player. That's a first for me. Okay, so AVR does have 3 scouts up, but unfortunately he's not moving forward with them, and I think by the time it actually will decide to move forward, most of AVR's base will be walled up. Although I feel that there might be a hole here. It's just something that we'll have to see once AVR actually decides to send his scouts forward. And he has an archery range up, so he's adding some skirms to go along with his scouts, which is a smart play, obviously, because the moment you have your scouts up, your opponent usually just decides to go for spears. Or in the case of Assk, he already has a couple of spears out. 3 actually, right. But yeah, I mean, this is too late. Like, this is almost 16 minutes and Assk is already 50% up to Castle Age, and he's walled completely. So yeah, this is just an unnecessary delay. Come on, man, send your scouts forward. What are you waiting for? I do believe there might be a hole here, and now that Assk has actually sent all his spears forward to defend these 2 villagers, this could have actually been pretty interesting to watch. Unfortunately, AVR is interested in just camping on that hill, so finally he does decide to move forward. He's not walled, so yeah, I mean, Assk has just got to Castle Age. What are his resources looking like? What is he planning to do with this? Okay, I do genuinely wish that he tried to just right click inside Ask's base, because I think there is a hole here which could have been exploited pretty nicely. Unfortunately, he just decides to attack the houses and the wall here. Okay, so Assk is going for a siege monk push. Nice. I mean, AVR does have the counter to those monks. Scouts are practically a direct counter to those monks. So, I mean, apart from the fact that Assk has 5 spears over here, AVR does have the counter to the monks, or the siege that is about to come in. So, yeah, there we go. This should be a fun game to spectate. And AVR is just about to start collecting gold. I do believe he's not going to get to Castle Age. This should be a quick game, and that's an instant conversion. And he's already 2 villagers down, 4 villagers down. Oh man. Yeah, so I guess AVR should just forget about getting to Castle Age. And on top of that, Assk has now decided to mine AVR stone as well. So yeah, I mean, he has the wood, the gold income at this point. He has the wood which is not being threatened, and these farmers are farming over here peacefully, not giving a shit about the TC at this point. I mean, it still has enough health. I do genuinely hope that he actually gets to Castle Age. And okay, so he did actually manage to get inside Ask's base over here, but Assk, I don't think, is interested in defending his base. Meanwhile, we have 2 mangonels out, we have 2 monks out, a couple of villager conversions. So yeah, this is pretty nice, and AVR is actually forced to pull his scouts back to try and get rid of the monks or the siege. But I think they'll just end up going down to these spears. And AVR, I guess, will end up losing his TC now. Although this mangonel does go down, maybe the second mangonel will as well. So that's some nice defense from AVR. It's just that the elo gap is so massive that you will usually just get outplayed, even if you decide to do your build orders perfectly or whatever. It's just the fact that a 2000 elo player will have better game sense than you, and as I say that, he's already up building a tower over here. And AVR decides to actually go for a counter tower, which is pretty nice. But the thing here is that this tower can easily just range the entirety of this gold. So even though the counter tower will go up, his gold here is lost at this point. His secondary gold is way far out of his base. And his third gold is here, which is, I mean, it's safe for now. The thing is that it's right next to a hill, which is pretty bad. Okay, so the towers go up for both the players, and AVR has fletching on his tower. Assk does not have fletching. Okay. But, I mean, his current siege monk push is going quite well. Meanwhile, these skirms have spent, I think, the last 5 minutes or so trying to bring down this barracks, which is not gonna happen. Assk is on 2 TCs at this point. He's walled in his lumberjacks over here because those scouts had initially got in, although they are out again. These skirms can be a bit of a nuisance, but nothing more than that. Like, the skirms can't even do much damage to the villagers. So, yeah. And as I say that, Assk's tower will actually go down to these 3 scouts and the tower. Or maybe AVR will end up losing a scout to a conversion. Yeah, I mean, it's either losing your scout to the monk or losing your scout to the mangonel. So he decides to try and take on the monks. He does manage to kill 2 of those 3 monks. But these mangonels are still extremely active over here, and yeah, I mean, these skirms will do nothing to the scouts, to the single scout, I mean. And he's got 4 mangonels out, so yeah, I mean, this is GG. If we look at the eco, AVR actually almost has the resources to click up to Castle Age. The thing is, these 4 mangonels here, I mean, this is pretty bad. And although AVR is just trying to target the town center, AVR meanwhile has started to attack the mangonels here. He actually misclicks, or rather just queues up a farm over here. So Assk can even kill this farm, and that would mean AVR losing the wood. So some nice friendly fire over here, and there we go. That's the GG. It was pretty fun to watch actually. So yeah, let's just go over the stats. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just return to the map so you guys can take a look. So Assk was on 2 TCs. He had 15 on gold. I mean, fair enough. Siege Monk push actually requires a lot of gold income. So yeah, I mean, that's 15 on gold. He had just 6 on food. Okay, fair enough. I mean, who needs villagers at this point, right? And AVR did have the resources to click up, I believe. Yeah, so he had the buildings as well. It's just the fact that he was so far behind that it made no sense. And yeah, so that's GG's for the second game. And it seems Assk wants to play 2v1 against somebody. Do we have anybody in the chat right now who wants to go up against Assk? Oh, okay, okay. You're talking about the voice chat. Right, right, right. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, man. So, yeah. Let's just go into the voice chat. And there we go. Hey, man, GG's. That was a nice siege monk push, man. I will try and get AVR in the voice chat as well, if he is interested.
Sure.
Okay, so initially, anyways, if you're talking about the first games that you played against
Mhm.
Alpha Omega, you said that your recommendation was basically to just get good with the basic build orders and go from there, right?
Yeah, in general, I would recommend it to anybody under 1400, let's say. 14.
Okay. And I mean, there are so many things about this game where you can just answer with it depends, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
usually the most common answer given whenever you ask about anything. But like, is there any specific reason why you decided to go for a siege monk push in this case? Maybe the map gen or whatever, or was it just something that you
Uh,
wanted to do?
just something I wanted to do, and in general, it's not that bad a strat versus Frank. So we'll usually go for cavalry and Japanese excel at spears,
Okay,
monks.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have AVR in the voice chat. Hey man, GG's.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Can you just speak up slightly, or I'll try and increase your volume as well? Yeah. So GG's, man. Yeah, yeah, we
yes.
can.
Mhm. First game, maybe you should have used the advantage of those buffaloes. Like,
Yeah, he actually named. I think it was three water buffaloes.
and like, yeah, that is like minus, that is like a 900 foot difference, no one. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Because at that point you want to punish the other person who does not have equal resources as you do. Because I was having a tough time clicking up. I had to leave all deer. I did the TC for a long time. I barely managed to get 500 gold.
Okay, and this is something else that I noticed, which I am sure you would have noticed as well, that you were housed repeatedly. Actually, I think like 4 or 5 times that you were housed. Okay, 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 okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, it happens to all of us.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, fair enough. And anything regarding game two? Actually, the thing is, because the thing is, your initial scout, when you had just sent him out, he actually managed to spot two houses from Assk. But then you just decided to go to the bottom of the map without having seen. Yes, yes, we did
Yes,
notice
yes.
that. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay.
Uh, mhm. Nice. But
So,
that was a decent reaction to the monk rush also, I think.
yeah, he actually had the scouts to fight against the monks. The only issue is that you had added spears along with them. So,
Yeah, yeah. Instead of breaking a house, you can break palisade walls or palisade gate. That like it would have. But you had scums, right, to
actually,
prevent revolving.
I,
I would
I believe
suggest
you had
that.
a hole in your wall as well, next to your
No,
gate.
no, no,
Uh,
no, no. That was wood lines. Tested it.
okay, so I mean, between the barracks and the gate over here, you're saying there's no hole over there.
There was a straggler. There was a
Ah,
straggler.
okay, okay, okay. Fair enough. Because that's something I
Yes.
can't see. So I just figured that there might be a hole over there.
I checked that. That was a
Okay,
straggler.
okay, okay, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. In general, I would suggest like at that time you should break palisades because you need to get in as soon as possible.
Like the Rush FC defense wasn't very good honestly. Like maybe I should have come forward with a few tasks instead of waiting for skirms.
Yeah, maybe that would have been the play.
And like
Or
losing the
just
game
better
from Rush
scouting,
FC.
like if you don't allow my wheels to come forward with such a large army, then my plan is foiled.
Yeah, even that.
I mean, that's the thing anyway, right? Like, if your opponent decides to go for a Drush FC, you have to hit him in feudal.
But
Because,
anyway, like I think his reactions were on point.
hmm.
Like apart from the late knowing that what was coming, once you knew what was coming, that was a decent one.
Yeah, once again like going back to scouting like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think that wraps up for both the matches today. They're actually quick. So, GG's to
Please,
all you
thank you.
guys, and thank you
Thank you for
again
the time,
for.
man.
Yeah, sure, man. And thank you again, Aske, for playing these and for your tips as well. So, I believe you're actually busy tomorrow. Is that right? You did mention
Yeah,
in the chat or
I'm
something.
traveling tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. So, I think tomorrow we'll have Dragonstar, and maybe day after we can have you again.
Yes.
Cool then. Perfect. So yeah, I'll see you day after tomorrow, and
Yes.
I guess that's it from us over here at AOE India. Please make sure to join us tomorrow as well because I believe the tournament is running up to the 18th or rather the 17th. So on the
Okay.
18th we'll have a show match
Mhm.
between Assk and Dragonstar. So we still have 2 more days of the Tester Skill Cup to go. So yeah, I mean we should see you guys. Let's actually what I can do is I can just bring up the names of who will be playing tomorrow and day after. By the way, if I'm holding you up or whatever, you can actually leave, Assk.
I was saying thanks for casting.
Oh, please, man. It's a pleasure to cast your games. See you, man. Yeah,
Bye
bye.
bye.
Yeah, bye. So yeah, tomorrow we'll actually have Mr. Slav and Nihal who will be playing against Dragonstar, and on Saturday we'll have the Happy Boar and Agent P playing against Ask. So those should both actually be pretty interesting games, considering Happy Boar is around 1500 euro and Agent P as well, I believe, is around 1400. Unfortunately, I don't know about tomorrow's players, so I'll just have I mean, I'll take a look at them tomorrow, and yeah, hope to have some more interesting games in this tournament before it ends. So yeah, I guess that's good night from me, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye.